Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the weekend video. This is a weekend video. It's Thursday afternoon. It's going to be the weekend video because I know for a fact that I won't get one in tomorrow. So I thought, given the quite interesting action we've had over the last couple of days, maybe it'll be worth getting in early on this one. I'll have the nightly updates for tonight and Friday night as usual on the website, but for the viewing public, I think today's the day. Okay, um, this is euro dollar. What we'll do is obviously go to do the dollar crosses first, and then we'll get into metals and stock market, crude oil, and so on and so forth. Okay, um, so this is euro dollar. This is a 4-hour chart, and this is the declining three-wave pattern in wave D that I have been working with for a while. Okay, so the idea here is, well, it's twofold. This rise here, this nice rally here that's happened over the last, let's say, a month or so, um, this is large enough to constitute the full expected rise, let's say, in a B wave. So I am kind of on the fence of whether this is just wave A of B, or is this all of wave B complete. I don't actually have a preference particularly on that right now. On the short-term chart, I have shown the idea that this is only wave A up done, and then we'll get a B and a C just to create a larger kind of zigzag pattern. But on the 4-hour chart, when you look at it all in context, this is enough to constitute all of wave B. So it's a 50-50 coin toss, depending on what you want to do there. Both counts should lead to a decline. If this is only wave A up, then we should see a decline in wave B, probably back down to a double bottom down there around 117 or 118, and then a further rally in wave C. So we'll create this larger three-wave pattern. If this is wave B already done, then we'll see a straight 5-wave decline down in wave C to complete this wave D of a triangle. So overall, 3, 3, 5 decline in wave D. So we'll see how that goes. Short-term chart, we possibly have a 5-wave decline again. We also possibly had that 5-wave decline a couple of weeks ago. But again, we're moving lower, after a complete pattern. Let's see if this develops further either later today and Friday. There's enough left in this week for us to create a reasonable break of initial support, a 5-wave pattern lower. We do have 5 waves down. This could be just wave 1 of A, or it could be wave A of A, because I don't know whether this is going to be a 3-wave decline or a 5-wave decline. It just there's no way of knowing really until it happens, because if this is only a wave B decline, then we could easily have a 3, 3, 5 decline in wave B overall in the pattern. Okay, so far we've come down. Let's see if we get a corrective lower high today, and then we spill lower maybe into a third wave on Friday. Okay, so let's move on. This is cable. This is a pound dollar 4-hour chart. Again, topping a 3-wave rally. That's a pretty clear 3-wave rally. A pretty clear 3-wave rally or decline. Well, you could actually view this both in two ways. You could view this as a wedge decline, or you could view it as an ABC decline. Whatever takes your fancy there, to be honest. If that's wave A down, we have a pretty clear 3-wave rally to a lower high so far. The decline off that high has not been impulsive enough to call, this wave C down underway just yet. But maybe we get more constructive action to the downside today. We do have a small 5-wave pattern lower. This, again, just like in Eurodollar, if wave C is getting underway, we should see a 5-wave decline in wave 1 of C, and we should break this previous triangle B wave low. So I'm counting this as wave 1 of 1, so this should be wave 1, 2, 3, 4. We should see a 5-wave decline down into initial support 38.55, 138.55, and then we can work from there next week. Okay, so we move on to dollar yen. Dollar yen had a nice burst higher yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, I think it was yesterday. So we seem to be moving up into a possible third wave of a 5. Now this is either wave 3 of 5 in red here, or this is either the beginning of wave 1 of a larger wave 3. So the alternate count here calls wave 1 and 2 complete, and then we're starting up in a third wave. The main wave count calls this next rally only wave 5 of 1. So we're going up, but the main count again calls for a reasonable decline back towards that 106 level again once we have 5 waves up complete. Okay, let's get into short-term chart and we'll kind of parse this out and see how it's going so far. So we have the wave 4 low here. So we've got an ABC decline, wave 4 low. Nice substantial rally in 5 waves off that in wave 1, 3-wave decline in wave 2, and then another 1-2 pattern, I think, developing here on Thursday. So by Friday, we should have, I think we should have 5 waves up in wave 1 done, and maybe even a bullish impulse wave complete. Maybe we'll have wave 1 and 2 complete, and we'll have another bullish higher low to work with into a third of a third next week. So as long as we keep, inching higher, higher highs and higher lows, then I think we're moving higher into a third wave of wave 5 at least. Okay, so dollar strength emerging in general, dollar strength emerging in the Pacific pair, so dollar yen. This hasn't materialized in the Atlantic pairs yet. I think that's only a matter of time, to be quite honest. Okay, let's move on. This is the Dow 4-hour. I want to actually, I'll go to the daily chart for the moment. You can see the 50 period MA right there. That's the daily 50 MA. The decline in the last day and a half has now punched a hole through the 50-day DMA. We did get that before, so far, this in the shorter term patterns, this 50 DMA has proved as qualifying the uptrend. We can't really, I think, we can't really contemplate a much larger decline to the downside unless we start, using this short-term MA as well. It's not short-term, on the daily chart, but this shorter MA as resistance rather than support, because it's been acting as support all the way up here. Probably you could argue since last April. So for a whole year, this trend line or this moving average has acted as support. We haven't broken substantially through that since last October. And then we just bounced right back out of it off the 200 MA. So the uptrend has been clear for that period of time, or it not been clear. It hasn't been clear to me. The uptrend has been in place, let's say, for that period of time. The test now comes on whether we're going to, to turn down and complete this 5th wave up and go down more substantially. Okay, so here's the 4-hour chart, and I'm going to show you those MAs again, though. So there's the 50 and the 200 in the 4-hour chart, and we have come down substantially through that this week, both MAs. That hasn't happened since, early March. We bounced right back out of that in early March, and we bounced right back out of it in February as well. So there has been no kind of substantial break of the 200 MA on the 4-hour chart since last October again, but that low was disqualified pretty quickly. Excuse me, as we moved up into this 5th wave, because you can see that's the 4th wave low, the 3-wave decline, 4th wave low, and then we moved higher into this, what I'm still counting as an ending diagonal. in wave 5 blue. Okay, well, I have been of the opinion that we were going to see an end to this pattern eventually. The question now is, are we seeing an end to this pattern? Because the decline is definitely of the right ilk. You know, it's got the right look to end a pattern. So from here, you know, towards the end of the week, we've got Thursday's trade. The pre-market is open in the US. The early trade is open anyway. So we've got a bounce this morning. Do we start a second wave lower high? You know, do we create a nice head and shoulders here in by completing this right hand shoulder here with a wave 1 and 2? Or do the bulls grab hold of it again? And you know, is this just buy the dip time again? It's got a different look to it. I have to be, you know, this is my gut wrenching feeling here. this has got potential. So I'm counting it with the potential in mind. So we had that initial 1-2 kind of move off the high that we saw on Monday, was it? The 10th, 11, 12, 13, yeah, Monday, I think. After a push towards that upper trend line, we came back down through. Now what I'm about to show you is not the MAs, but the trend channels and the wedge. So this long-term wedge here has been tracking, or it has been, let's say, encompassing the outermost extremes of this ending diagonal in wave 5 in blue. So that's your wave 5 in blue. This is the ending diagonal trend channel lines. We popped out of that to complete wave C of 5, and then we broke down pretty substantially down through those that trend line again. Now, what else has happened? Well, we have a 3-wave pattern higher in wave 5. So this is the ending diagonal. So we've got that A, B, C pattern in wave 5. We completed the C wave in 5 waves. And then we broke down out of the rising trend channel for wave 5 in green. So now we've broken the wedge for wave 5 in blue. We've broken the trend channel for wave 5 in green. We've come down below the extent of the rally in wave C. So we are fast racking up, let's say, waypoints that we should expect in a turning market. So question remains, the pattern is good off the high. The trend line's breaking, the threatening of the MAs, so the breaking of, let's say, the or the potential to break that uptrend on the longer term charts is there. The breakout or down below the rising trend channels and wedges is there. The pattern off the high is there. Let's see if we get a corrective lower high. So that's the next thing on the list would be the creation of a second wave, you know, lower high somewhere. Let's say we retrace back up to this left shoulder here again, somewhere around the 34,200 to 34,500 area. It would be nice if we could use these trend lines again as now resistance rather than any sort of support. And again, the 4-hour trend, or sorry, the 4-hour MAs, it would be nice if we started to use them as resistance rather than any sort of support. So it's kind of a wait and see, but I've got a little kind of flutter in my stomach, you know. So you know, I think that's kind of rounded up. I know that we are not due, but I know that this sort of market has the potential to completely collapse quickly, like it did last March. So is this the shot across the bow that will actually bring in the cavalry? So maybe it will. We shall see. For later on Thursday and for Friday, I'll be concentrating on this second wave correction here to see what sort of form we kind of we bring in with the second wave. So you would expect some sort of ABC correction there to a lower high. I'm liking that previous left shoulder high there at 34,250. So let's see if we grind our way back up there. In terms of Fibonacci retracement, what does that mean? Yeah, just above the 50. We're right in that kind of target zone there, between 50 and 62%. Wave 2, let's see how you go. You know, it might even break down sooner than that. Who knows? We'll revisit this tonight on the nightly update for you guys on the website. You guys and gals, forgive me. Okay, gold. We've had a decline. We've had a possibility of a completing 5 waves up in wave 5. Don't know if we're there yet. It'd be a failed 5th wave. We haven't had a break of the wave 1 and wave 3 support there, so that's kind of a, let's say, a pivot high, and it has acted as support. So that's again a left shoulder. I would like to break down below that before completing wave 1 down, but I don't know. This could be wave 1 and 2 building here right now. If the stock market actually does go in a big way, I think it'll probably take gold with it too. You know, I did speak about the bullish alternate here, but even in terms of the bullish alternate, we should complete a wave 1 and then we should head into a wave 2. And I think we could easily threaten 1700 again in that second wave. Okay, let's see if this week's highs hold and we actually create 5 waves down into a 1 and a 2 pattern. There's enough of the week left to do that. This could be just a small consolidation within wave 1. So we'll know more by tonight, and I would like to be able to present a reasonable opportunity downside. I mean, if there is people that do want short gold, I'm not. I like to buy and hold it for long periods of time. Okay, I'm boring like that. Okay, let's see how this pattern. Let's see if we can break out of this B wave. This wave C completed 5 waves up, so let's see if we can get a confirmation that this B wave is complete and we can head down into wave C. Let's move on. Crude oil. Crude oil still holding a lower high, so we do have a very nice 5 wave pattern lower. That's what I'm kind of clinging to at the moment. We have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Possibly a failed 5th wave, although you could take the extreme low as wave 5 too. Let's expand that up a bit. So the main outlook is that we've got a 1-2 pattern underway. The rally that's happened over the last couple of weeks, yeah, more than that, 3 weeks or so, has been more corrective in nature rather than bullish, so or impulsive. So I am holding with the idea that we've got a 1-2 pattern, and then we should be heading lower into a third wave. You know, if the stock market does give up, I can't see crude oil holding up either. Let's get into the short-term chart here. You can see that off this wave 1 low, we've got 3 waves up in A, triangle B, and then 5. So we've got 3, triangle, 5 up in wave A. We've got an ABC down in B. Then we've got a 1, 2, 3, triangle, 4, 5. Yet to be seen if the decline over the last few hours, let's say yesterday and early this morning, actually develops into a downward signal. Let's see if we actually do create some sort of a bearish short-term or bearish small bearish impulse wave off that top. But I do want to see, we're going to have to start seeing some support breaks here, because we've just continued higher in this still very corrective pattern, but it's gone on for too long now, and we need to start rolling over. If this is a second wave, then we should start rolling over into the third wave pretty quick. I would like to see that happen before the end of this week to herald in a decline in wave 3. Okay, this is the S&P, so I'm going to the 4-hour chart. This is the 4-hour chart in the S&P. Should I go to the daily chart? Yes, I should. If you can see on the MACD and RSI, those topped out on the 18th of April. So since then, we've been kind of easing lower and rallying in the price has actually been rallying. The S&P has been rising, but we've had this kind of bearish divergence, this cresting pattern here on MACD, and the RSI actually ran lower pretty quickly. We do have a substantial double top here ever since, let's say, last June. The rally into wave 5 here matched the rally off the extreme sell-off from last March. So that initial rally off the lows created a this very, very extreme overbought situation, which actually continued for a significant period of time until, let's say, September, October, and we actually sold off and clear the trough a bit, and then we rallied again. So the rally into top out this 5th wave actually came up to almost match the initial rise off the let's say the March sell-off last year. And now what we've had is a reasonable sell-off. You can see here this rising wedge line here that has been, again, overall since the decline in March, the lows in March, this rising wedge has been continuing. And now we are pushing the lower boundaries of that on the daily chart. We've broken below the 50 MA on the daily. So next up 200, so that comes in, let's say, down around 3,800. If we can do that, we could well be in business here. Okay, the 4-hour chart. On the 4-hour chart, you can see that top out earlier in MACD and RSI. You can see that top out came in on the 7th of April. So we've been kind of drifting higher since the 7th of April, and then we just got slammed this week. We've broken both MAs on the 4-hour chart, and we have filled out a pattern in 5 of 5 of 5 of 5. So you can get much more extreme than that. You can't. I think we've definitely got enough on the plate right now to suggest that we are moving into something. There's something brewing here that wasn't accounted for. We have the significant support coming in at this band here between 3660 and 3720, let's call it. That gives us a series of 4th waves. That's wave 4 of 3, or that'll be wave B actually of 3, and wave 4 of 5. Now, $64 billion question. Are we moving out of this rising trend into a new downtrend? Let's get to the short-term chart and see what that can tell us. We may have 5 waves down completed at this morning's low, or the overnight low, and we've got a small bounce positive this morning as the market opens over in the US. So, are we going to create a second wave, lower high, just as the Dow, and will we manage to continue the slide, let's say? That remains to be seen. We have enough, I think, in the next 2 days trading, the next 2 sessions, Thursday and Friday, to tell us whether we're going to get this bearish impulse complete. We should have enough there by Friday evening to call wave 2 complete, if it is going to be a wave 2. And if that happens, then next week we should probably look out below. It could be a third wave down developing next week. Okay, so for the short term, maybe 5 waves down complete. Let's see if we get a bearish lower high in wave 2. Now, silver, it's cooled off a little bit this week, but nothing substantial, and the pattern of the high has not been favorable as of yet. It definitely has more of a corrective look on it at the moment. We haven't broken out of any channels. We haven't created a clear 5-wave pattern lower. So I think I'm not convinced just yet whether we've turned into wave C. I'll definitely allow for that. Maybe there's some sort of declining wedge or a series of 1-2s building here. I can't really elaborate on that at the moment. Again, this is only Thursday morning, so we have enough in the next couple of days to see if we can actually turn this juggernaut back down into wave C. And when we do that, then we should see a more significant decline in wave C develop probably later on next week once we get an impulse wave lower traced out here. Okay, so let's move on. That's the 6 nightly update, or 7, 8. Forgive me. Nightly. Move on. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin. Excuse my French. Bitcoin. Possibility that we have a 1-2 pattern underway here. Yesterday's action, that was a pretty significant sell-off. Yesterday we broke the previous low. So either, we've got some sort of, run-of-the-mill 3-wave correction going on here. Maybe that's the most likely candidate here for the alternate count. So an ABC down in wave 4, and then we rally again in wave 5. But there is the potential for a 1-2. So, do we get a follow through? That is the question. It's definitely, in terms of poster childs for Bitcoin, we had Elon Musk or Tesla come out. I'd say it was more the financial controllers in Tesla that were actually telling them to get out of Bitcoin than Elon Musk and his let's say environmental concerns. I would doubt that. Everybody knows how horrendous Bitcoin is in terms of energy consumption. What was it? Bitcoin mining and tracking consumed more energy than the nation of Pakistan last year. So we all know how horribly inefficient this system is. No matter what the merits of it are, it's a horribly inefficient system. I don't think that was the reason why they sold out, or they let's say they will be selling out. They, eventually, it might be the straw that breaks the camel's back for Tesla. Let's see how it goes. But we have the potential of 1-2. Let's see if we build into a third wave. Who knows? Interesting how this Bitcoin has rallied with the market and sold now with the market. So maybe there's convergence there also. FTSE, forgive me. The 4-hour chart hasn't been updated for a while. FTSE actually is selling in a reasonable pattern too. So we could have a 1-2, 1-2 underway, maybe. This also, if we're allowing for, let's say, a larger disparity between a 1 and a 2 pattern, or the relative size of a 1-2, this could be a third, fourth, fifth decline, but it could also be an ABC. So we'll see how, if we continue the series of lower highs, then we'll probably be moving into a third wave down. We will most likely break that fourth wave low, 6,700, and sayonara then, I think. Germany, a reasonable attempt at a top here as well. We had a 3-wave decline, rally to a very slight lower high, and then a nice impulsive move lower. So the chart here shows, well, 3 waves down, possible 4th wave, maybe a failed 5th wave, and then maybe a series of 1-2s or a larger 1-2 developing here off the top. So as long as we hold the highs, the potential here for a turn is reasonable as well. The Nasdaq, we might have 5 waves down completed at yesterday's low. So that could be an extension in a 5th wave. It could easily be a wave 1, 2, 3, an ABC up in 4, and then an extension lower in 5. The main problem you would have with that would, well, no, the main alternate, let's say, would be that we have a 1, 2, 1, 2 beginning, or we have 1, 2, 3. That would be, in that case, it would be something like 1, 2, 3 as for an alternate. Again, there's no way of knowing that unless we start again just building those bearish lower highs, and if we continue to do that, then I think the Nasdaq will probably lead the way in the next downturn. We have come off reasonably. It's been a more significant sell-off in this tech sector than in the more traditional sectors. So maybe we're looking at the leading of the charge here to the downside. I can't complain if that's the case. Okay, that's Nasdaq done. That's the whole lot done. Hope you find that interesting and useful. If you're interested in nightly updates, then I do them on the website. You can go and check that out at bullwens.org. And for all of you lads and ladies that are with me every night, thank you so much. Blessings to you. I always put this end screen up because I think it's pretty damn important. I remember reading there recently that it doesn't matter how long your life is, if you divide any number into infinity, it's 0. So, the everlasting is infinity, and no matter how long your life is, you're going to have to face it eventually. I'd rather face it on good terms than on bad terms with the Lord. Okay. That is that. God bless you all. Thanks for watching. Have a good weekend. My thoughts are with the Middle East, the people in Israel and the people in Gaza as well, because there's lots of innocent people in Gaza that are suffering at the hands of Hamas and PIJ. So my thoughts are with you all. My prayers are with you. And as the Lord said, always pray for the peace of Jerusalem. So I'll pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Okay. God's blessings to you all. Shalom. And we'll see you next week, probably, unless I get to a weekend update. Maybe I'll manage a Sunday update, depending on how the next few days go. All right. God bless. Bye bye.